Okay, today here on Prepper Do-It-Yourself Land, we're going to talk about rust. And if you're going to keep a vehicle for any length of time, you're going to have to deal with rust, especially if you live where I live. Now, it used to be that it was very expensive to replace body panels and really cheap to have body work done, and that's totally flipped around. Now it's very expensive to have body work done. I don't even think it's worth it to have, to take it out and have it done. And it's really cheap to replace body panels. What's made that possible is that there's lots of aftermarket companies making body panels, but also that there's so many vehicles out there now, because we live in this throwaway society. It's pretty cheap to get used solid panels. In this case, like in the town and country, it's really easy to get solid replacements that are used right off Craigslist or in junkyards. Now, being able to do body work is a good skill. And a couple years ago, I actually, to stem off the rust on this, I actually had to do some, and I sanded this down and got it all nice. But these Chryslers are really set up to fail, because on the inside they have a lip where the rust starts. So it actually doesn't start from the outside, it starts from the inside up, and you cannot stop it. The best way to solve this, and the cheapest way, is just to replace the whole panel. Now, in the last vid I showed you that I picked up a regulator, or 30 bucks. Well, I picked up a hood at the same place off the same car for 30 bucks. Pretty cheap. It was the wrong color. But I'm going to show you how cheaply you can replace a body panel using spray can paint, and it looks just as good. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to take this and make it look like this. How's that for fixed? Don't think you can't paint with a spray can and have it come out looking pretty good. The technology and the paint has changed tremendously in the last 20 years, and even the spray cans, they're a lot better than when I was a kid. This is going to look just fine. My next step is I spend about 10-15 minutes with a 1000 grit sandpaper and a sanding block and just smooth that paint out. 10-15 minutes at most. Picked up a $3 can of clear enamel, and I'm going to seal this paint up. Now again, there's hundreds of videos that people have taken the time to show you how to do this step by step, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to show you the results and how little it cost me. The important thing is to maintain a wet edge. First coat can be pretty light, and then I get most of the coverage with the second coat, and then I finish up with a third. After the first coat of clear coat is dry, I wet sand yet again, just to even things out. And given I'm not trying to make a show car here, if this was any other part of the vehicle, I probably wouldn't care as much as the hood, but the hood is pretty noticeable. So I'm just going to do a nice job here and really smooth it out. I'll probably put one more coat of clear on this and then buff it out. I've got some flaking off here, some separation of the paint. You can see the gold underneath. It's the only spot on the hood that's doing it, and it's simply from not doing a thorough job when I was sanding this down before I applied the paint. So keep that in mind. Again, I'm not making a show car here. I'll just touch this up and it won't be a big deal to me. Alright, this is the last coat of clear coat. I put it on vertically before, so I'm going to put it on horizontally across this time. And then I'll buff it out. Okay, there's the second coat, and that looks pretty good right now. If you weren't too picky, this would be good enough, but I'm actually going to buff this out to a shine and try to match it up to the car as best as I can just for this vid. But that actually looks pretty good. These are not your father's spray cans. So we're going to use an Orbital sander right now and some Meguiar's. Meguiar's or Mother's is about the best products you can use for doing this. Always apply this stuff, wax or rubbing compound, in the shade, not in the sun. Okay, that was after one buffing, and it damn near looks like new. So what I do now is I look around in the sun, and if there are any spots that didn't buff out, I just lightly sand them. And then I'll take that particular spot, get a little rubbing compound, and just buff it out. No big deal. So what have I done here? Well, I definitely saved myself some money. There's no doubt this would have been more than a few bills to get this fixed. You know, what's incredible is how little time this actually took. I mean, this probably took me a couple hours at best to get this done and do it right. And I mean, it looks great. It also helps me keep the value of the van up. If you're going to keep a vehicle for a long time like I am, I want to keep the value of that vehicle at par. And this helps me do that. It also gives me, you know, the mental value of having a vehicle that doesn't have rust hanging off it. I know my wife is going to appreciate that as well. This is a way, these things are a way to keep money in your pocket, money that you earn. This is a way of making money. In fact, you could take these skills if you got good enough and someone would hire you to do them. You could do jobs on the side like this. It's just a way of keeping the money in your pocket with very little work attached to it. In fact, I think I'm going to spend a little bit of that money I just saved. I got an idea. There. Yeah, that's nice. Now my wife can have the coolest minivan at school. Awesome. Come on. Come on. You have to admit. That's pretty snazzy. Pretty snazzy, huh? That is so aerodynamic. I'm probably going to save 0.2 ounces of fuel on those milk runs. Awesome. This is Real Prepping by a Real Prepper. Yankee Prepper, signing out.